What's up guys, Dan here from Rocky Creek. We're in the house and we're going to talk about this Berkey right here. What is it and why do we have this? Let's go. So guys, this is what's called a Berkey filter. It's a water filter, and all you pretty much do is you put your water in the top here. Water filters through this upper chamber and it fills up this lower chamber, and then you just turn the spout here and you fill up a glass of water. Why do we have such a system like this? So here on our property, we're on a well. And when we first bought this house, it was a new construction. And after they tested out the well, we noticed right away that there was a heavy sulfur smell in the water. Well, we have a pretty fancy system in our garage that filters all that water as it comes out. It automatically backwashes and pumps out on a timer. And I usually have it set to where it goes off around 3 o'clock in the morning, so we don't even notice it, and it backwashes itself. And it worked fantastic on getting rid of the sulfur smell and iron. Well, our local co-op in our area works with a local university, and you can have your water tested to see the quality of it, and it's for a very reasonable price. I think we paid like $25, $30 to have the water tested, and they do it annually. So we went ahead and did that, especially with the children, to make sure we had healthy water. Well, we actually got a result back on that we were a little surprised by, and it showed that we had high levels of barium. Well, barium, I never heard of it, and it basically is a heavy metal, and they have no idea why we have it. Their guess is that barium can be a byproduct of sulfur, especially if there's high amounts of it. So that's their only guess, because they said typically the only time they see barium is if you're near an area where there's a lot of metal production, or areas such as like junkyards or somewhere like that where there is a lot of metal being dealt with and put into the earth and various things like that. Reading about the health effects of barium it's pretty concerning. So we started digging into what can we do to eliminate this barium. I called a lot of different companies, and the best that I could find was a reverse osmosis system was probably going to be our best option. Well, the prices of those, we already have what's probably about a $2,000 to $2,400 system in our garage, and a reverse osmosis system, even one that would just go just to our sink, well, we were looking at another $1,400 to $1,500. So I started doing a lot of research, and I kept coming across this thing called a Berkey. And there's a lot of homesteading channels and a lot of just generalized people who are looking to have good, healthy water, and they swore by these Berkeys. So I did a lot of research on them specific to barium. And the reason why I'm talking about it today is actually I'm due to change my filters. We have had this Berkey now for 1.5 years, and this is my first filter change since I've had this Berkey unit. But if you look on the filters that come, the black Berkey purification filters, that's their main line of filter. It will list on the front of the box all the items of which it takes out and to what percentage it can remove those things. And if you look right here at heavy metals and you come across, there's barium, and it removes up to 80% of the barium in our water. So we bought this thing near the holidays. That's when we found that they run their best deals. And this is actually called the Royal Berkey. They come in different sizes. This one is supposed to hold, I believe it's 3.2 gallons. It's basically around 3 gallons. And for us, we can usually get about a week's worth of water in that, unless we're doing a whole lot of cooking with it. Then it goes a lot faster. I got the stainless steel bundle package, which sometimes it can have a plastic spout, and mine came with a metal one, and it also came with these 4 metal cups that come with it, which honestly we rarely ever use because we just use glass. So, and the kit also, of course, comes with 2 filters. It can accommodate 4, but I'm going to go ahead, since we're due for a filter change, we're going to go ahead and break this thing apart, clean it out real good, and then we're going to show you how we put the new filters in, because if you buy a new one, that's essentially how it's going to go together as well. So overall, the Berkey system is pretty basic. You have the lid. You have, like I said, this upper chamber. Which inside the upper chamber, you'll see these are the 2 big black filters. And if you can see deep down in there, right there, there's these white plugs, and that's where you could technically run up to 4 filters. but we are not running 4 filters. We are just running the 2. And I'm gonna go ahead, you unscrew these they have wing nuts right here. I will go ahead and take off these white ones just while I clean it, and they'll go back in. But we're gonna go ahead and remove these black Berkey filters now, because those are what's gonna get replaced anyways. So you just hold the filter still on the inside while you undo the wing nut. And there's your filter. Some of the stuff I like about this Berkey is that it is a good quality stainless steel. It doesn't show any signs of rusting or anything like that. Like I said, we've now had this about 1.5 years. And this is our first filter change. Now, I will tell you, these filters are not cheap. These filters, they cost, for a 2-pack, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, we paid about $120. But if I go 1.5 years before I have to change them, you know, that's less than $10 a month. And it is still way cheaper than the reverse osmosis system that I could have got. And even then, the reverse osmosis system was going to have certain filters that needed to be replaced anyways. So other than just having a direct line to be able to use this for, it's not really, to me, it wasn't cost efficient when this right here is taking care of our problem. Another really cool thing about this Berkey is that when we have guests over, it is portable. So if I want to have good, fresh, quality drinking water, and let's say we're having a little get together on our patio, then I can bring this whole thing outside and set it out there on the patio, and people can quickly access the water. I also like that for my daughter. She can simply just go over to it, as small as she is, and just pour or fill up her cup with water without any assistance, as she can reach this spout on this really easy versus trying to reach the spigot on the stove. So there you have it. We got the Berkey here. Now this is a good time to clean it up because there is a little bit of film inside of there from it just being full of water and some water sitting there at the bottom for the last 1.5 years. The bottom port where we actually drink out of, I really don't see a film on it. The only spot that has a film is here at the base of where the filters were, and I think that's just because water tends to sit there a bit longer than it does in this lower portion. So I'm just going to give this stuff a really good clean, and then I'm going to show you how we prime the Berkey filters and then how we end up getting them installed back in. All right, you do have to prime these filters before you can install them. So they'll come with this rubber gasket, and you put it right here on the tip, and then from there you have to get it really tight against your water faucet, and you'll see it beat up, and you want to keep it there for a good 5 seconds of all the water beating before you're ready to install. All right, now that we got the filters primed, we're ready to go ahead and put it all back together. So first, I'm gonna start out with the false plugs. So I'll bring that through here. Put it in there. You should have one washer or gasket on both sides with the wing nuts through the bottom. Now with the filter itself, it'll have one washer. The washer goes to the inside. There's like no good way to hold them, but you can see we got them both in there up vertical, pretty straight, evenly spaced, and they should be good to go now. So now we'll put it all back together. This ring, this is a rubber base ring that goes on it. It just keeps it from sliding around on whatever surface you put it on. So we'll take it on back over. Get that put in position where we want it. I'll dry it all off with a towel once we get done with everything. Grab our top with the 2 filters installed. It drops right in like that. What I do, since I know it holds 3 gallons, is I just fill up a gallon jug and use it to pour into the top. They all run. Run! Hey, Mr. Deer. What are you doing? Fluffy butt? So I'll let y'all see the deer while I talk about this. So I wanted to share the Berkey with you all, though, just because, you know, we're not at all an affiliated channel by no means. Of course, I'm way too small for that. But anyways, you know, we've had it for 1.5 years. And when we first heard about that barium issue, because we're on a well, I know most homesteaders as well are oftentimes on a well. And, you know, we racked our brain left and right to figure out how we were going to address it. And, you know, we got quotes, and we're just sticker shocked, and we're talking about the different systems we were already going to have to maintain. And it was a little bit much. Well, to find out that there was an option that only cost us about $300 up front and will cost us about $120 every 1.5 years or so, to me was much more manageable. And the fact that it was one of the few things that I was able to find that actually specifically mentioned eliminating barium, which was one of our issues. So I've been very pleased with it. When I just put in that new filter and I tried that glass, I can tell a very difference in the taste of it now than before I changed the filters at. So I know the filters are working great. You might have seen I kind of picked up on it while it was flowing. What I did was I looked at where those 2 spots were where I put the black filters. And if everything is sealed up right, I should only see water dripping where those 2 black filters have their little ports coming out. I shouldn't see anything coming out of the white, and I shouldn't see anything coming out around the sides of it. So everything was looking good. So I hope this helped y'all out if you run into an issue with your water there at your homestead, or maybe you're off grid and you want to make sure that you have something that'll give you a good, fresh, clean tasting water, you know, that's safe for you to drink. I want to make sure you knew that. So guys, go check them out if you're looking for something to take care of your water issues. We love it. It's convenient, and I highly recommend it to anybody else that's thinking about getting one. So y'all take care, and until then, y'all be good, and we'll see you here real soon on the next video.